Agent 47 and Diana Burnwood are the world's top assassins working for the ICA. Unknowingly, they have been hired by a shadow client to target a number of operatives of Providence, a secret organization working in the highest echelons of power. Providence's controller, the Constant, approaches Diana and makes her a deal. Eliminate the shadow client and learn about 47's past. But when 47 discovers that the shadow client is Lucas Gray, his lost childhood friend, he and Diana switch sides to fulfill an old pact: destroy Providence. Together, they manage to capture the Constant, forcing him to reveal the identities of the 3 Providence partners. Eliminate them, and the war would be over. However, the Constant has an ace up his sleeve.
Welcome back to How to Hit a Man. That was a lovely summary of the story so far. Because last time we finished off the very last of the Hitman 2 missions, DLC included, and now we're moving on to the final batch. Hitman 3, the game this game started as. And we're going to be starting with a mission in Dubai called On Top of the World, which appears to show 47 standing on top of one of their mega-skyscrapers. Oh, there are hot air balloons below him! Great! That's fucking awesome! Hope nobody here has a problem with heights! Best laid plans.
Look closer. In the shadows. Behind the everyday world. Beyond the headlines and the seats of power. A hidden hand. A kind of company known as Providence. To it, we were just assets. To use and throw away. To do the unthinkable. The unforgivable. And it never gave us a second thought. Until now. After decades in the shadows, we are fighting back. Me and 47. Much has been lost, but we are closer than ever. We trapped the Constant, Providence's chief controller, and finally learnt the names of its 3 partners. In their downfall, we lay the past to rest. And, just maybe, look towards the future. 47. It's time.
Oh, good. Are those wingsuits? No, but there's still skydiving gear.
Partners are down there. You know, I never planned this far ahead. You never do. I see someone got his memory back. Wait, is that a beacon?
Ooh.
What the hell? Base. Alexa Carlisle's helicopter just took off. Confirm target locations, over. Diana, what's the status?
Right. We have a situation. Carlisle has left the building. And I think I know why. The Constant has escaped. He persuaded one of the sailors into setting him free. And since then, he's been seizing control of Providence assets and resources. I can only assume Carlisle is rushing to contain the damage.
If she slips away again...
We'll keep track of her. Make sure she doesn't. Meanwhile, the plan stays the same. Your destination is the Scepter, the world's tallest building where the partners are laying low, courtesy of their host, Sheikh Omar Al-Ghazali. Marcus Stuyvesant is fifth-generation old money. His family made its fortune in real estate and banking, and were at one point the chief landowners in New York. Carl Ingram is a powerful Washington kingmaker whose family grew rich selling gunpowder during the American Civil War, and later established a globe-spanning empire in oil, coal, and steel. Both families long since retreated from public view, but their quiet dominance endures to this day. Now, the partners likely suspect that we're coming, so Mr. Grey will infiltrate building controls and disable all electronic doors and elevators. Stuyvesant and Ingram are about to find they have nowhere left to run.
Right. This is our moment, 47. Providence ruined our lives with the flick of a pen. Today, we return the favor. Happy hunting.
Mission active. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is gonna be a big one. United Arab Emirates, Dubai. Target Carl Ingram. The Ingram family is of Scandinavian origin. Their earliest known ancestors were blacksmiths in Norway, but in the early 19th century, they migrated to America and became cattle ranchers. Not a bad choice at that point. They eventually made a fortune selling gunpowder during the American Revolutionary War. They said it was the Civil War before, it's two different things. And later established an empire in oil, coal, and steel. I don't know why those three words are in capital letters, but whatever. By the 20th century, the Ingrams had become one of the world's biggest fossil energy providers and begun expanding their business empire into fields such as agriculture, pharmaceuticals, and consumer goods. In fact, some of the family's biggest sources of revenue come from the Thwack Beverage Company and a global empire of chain stores. Key Providence assets such as Hamsun Oil, Blue Seed Agriculture, and the Pax Mundus Foundation, a geopolitical think tank, are all largely controlled by the Ingram family. However, it is their political clout, a benefit of controlling the vital oil and coal markets, that makes them truly powerful. The Ingrams are responsible for most of the Providence operatives positioned in governments and state institutions around the world, including senators, cabinet secretaries, generals, and even a high-ranking papal advisor. And they enjoy a close relationship to Middle Eastern and Latin American power players, such as the Al-Ghazali family in Saudi Arabia and the Merino drug cartel in Mexico. Carl Ingram, 66, is the current head of family and the second most senior Providence partner. Carl is brash, direct, and a cowboy at heart. Despite their immense wealth and privilege, the family has always cultivated a Protestant work ethic, and Carl feels most at home at his Kansas ranch or touring his oil fields, which incidentally is also where he brings his business partners and political acolytes to seize them up. Carl is a lion of a man with a quiet air of dominance and a steel handshake. He is also highly intelligent, perceptive, and an astute judge of character. I am not getting the sense of a, filthy sleazebag like most of the other targets. This guy is a threat. As a youth, Carl enlisted in the army and completed a tour of duty in Vietnam shortly before the fall of Saigon. Returning home to finish his studies, Carl decided that while the logic behind the domino theory had been sound, military campaigns were archaic and ineffective. Wars should be fought not with boots on the ground, but through the dual channels of Machiavellian tradecraft and the slow power of corporate influence. Carl studied military intelligence and became a foreign policy advisor to the White House with a tender age of 32, when by 40 he inherited control of the Ingram estate from his father Douglas. Carl had both the political savvy and the corporate muscle to set himself up as a behind-the-scenes kingmaker, whose endorsement is guaranteed to make or break campaigns, and indeed careers, on both sides of the political divide. And yet Carl, like his family name, remains virtually unknown to the general public, always preferring the subtle backroom machinations over the spectacle and limelight. He finally replaced his father, Douglas, as Providence partner in 1994. Carl Ingram comes across as a libertarian, But in truth, his pragmatism transcends political boxes. He views himself and Providence as the vanguard of global stability and status quo. And this balancing act requires a highly flexible mind. I guess it's meant to be pronounced with pauses, with the hyphens there. He views himself, and Providence, as the vanguard. Yes. For instance, a highly flexible mind, for instance, Carl has spent billions undermining the climate agenda while simultaneously investing heavily in climate change countermeasures. Oh, I hate that. However, this is all for the good of society. Carl believes that only the steady hand of Providence can lead the world into a more sustainable age without the otherwise inevitable descent into disruption, upheaval, and revolution. Carl was married twice with 2 sons from his first marriage and an adopted son from his second. None of his heirs know about Providence yet, but Carl leans towards appointing his adopted son, whom he sees as having the greatest potential, as his successor. Unsentimental and a staunch meritocrat, Carl takes his power very seriously, but is unapologetic about it, believing that only the capable has a right and duty to rule, and that, to the best and brightest, power and leadership is no privilege, it is an obligation. However, like his associate Marcus Stuyvesant, Carl's pride has blinded him to the threat of Arthur Edwards, and now it may be too late to pass on the torch. Any method, any disguise. Marcus Stuyvesant. That's Stuyvesant. The Stuyvesant family is of Dutch-German origin. Their earliest known ancestors were violin builders in 18th century Rotterdam. Moving to Bavaria, where they became successful merchants, they eventually settled in New York and established an empire in real estate and banking! At one point, they owned 15% of all property on Manhattan, competing with the Astor family as the landlords of New York. They also cultivated an image as patrons of the arts and sciences, donating museum and university wings all over New England. During their heyday in the late 19th and early 20th century, the Stuyvesants were counted among the 5 richest families in the world, and like most powerful clans in the age of rogue capitalism that followed the Industrial Revolution, they were essentially robber barons. They made a fortune off King Leopold II's atrocities in the Congo, cynically exploited the fallout of the Great Depression, which they managed to dodge, and maintained lucrative trade deals with despots throughout the 20th century, such as Pinochet in Chile and Jin Po in Candayang. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. To this day, their intricate network of banks frequently and indiscriminately launder money for white-collar criminals. Organized crime syndicates, terrorist groups, and despots all around the world. Ever since the end of World War II and the creation of Providence, the Stuyvesants have retreated from public view, and few today even recognize the name. Or, I guess I had to imagine the word even there. The family is still immensely wealthy, but their true currency is influence. Their assets and investments are deliberately scattered and obscured, hidden behind funds and shell companies. But the Stuyvesant estate is involved in a wide and diverse range of industries. It's probably meant to be just range, isn't it? Such as real estate, banking and finance, insurance, and legal services, as well as the arts, sports, and entertainment. Important Providence assets such as Milton Fitzpatrick Investment Bank, Danziger Limited Insurance, Morgan, Yates & Kahn Law Firm, and Monumental Pictures are old Stuyvesant property, in which they still own a controlling share. Marcus Stuyvesant, 51, the current head of the family, is the youngest of the Providence partners. He is divorced from Penelope Huxley Stuyvesant, with whom he has a single daughter, Cornelia, who runs the Stuyvesant Art Foundation. A strong proponent of order, diligence, and pertinence, Marcus tends to come across as officious and high-strung. Before Alexa Carlyle, Marcus's late father Eckhart used to sit at the head of the table, and Marcus is doggedly determined to prove himself his father's equal. An introvert and dyslexic, Marcus dragged himself through college in the wings of his family name and generous campus contributions. He landed a job at the prestigious law firm Morgan, Yates & Kahn, although his grades were hardly in the top 10%. Diligent and determined, he was on partner track when Eckhart died abruptly of a stroke, and Marcus is approached for the first time by Arthur Edwards, the second Constant, who revealed the Stuyvesant family's true legacy. Partnership on a whole different scale. Marcus later learned that Eckhart had long considered appointing Milton Fitzpatrick CEO Eugene Cobb instead of his pedestrian son, but he died before he could finalize his decision. This humiliating feeling of being a temp or runner-up haunts Marcus to this day. Marcus adores his daughter Cornelia, and determined to be a more supportive father than Eckhart, insists that she should one day succeed him as partner. But Cornelia, ironically, shows little sign that she would be even remotely interested in running a globe-spanning power cabal. And now, Marcus is waking up to the harsh realization that not only is it too late to shape Cornelia in his own image, there may simply be nothing left to inherit. Any method, any disguise. Oh boy. Oh, okay, so it is based on the Burj Khalifa. Starting location, Burj Al-Ghazali exterior. It's the only one I can choose. 47 arrives spectacularly in the outside structure of a towering skyscraper in the middle of the Dubai desert. Got a full-on fucking helmet and everything. Disguise determined by starting location. Oh man, skydiving suit. Agent 47 is unable to arrive at the selected entrance carrying additional equipment. No gun. Nowhere to smuggle anything. And, no gear. I can take one piece of gear with me. I guess I can fit it under the suit, but I don't want it to be the fiber wire. Right, okay, so I can't just take the gun from here. Odd. A toolbox for Arctic climate. I don't remember owning this box. It must have come with that DLC. Okay. Do I take the coins or the lockpicks? I'll take the lockpick. You can throw random items to get someone to react to, a distraction. There's only one thing you can use to pick a lock. Oh boy. Let's see here. Get started before I push that. Shout out to Justin Jones. He's a serious question. How well would Agent 47 have done during the mission for the first Metal Gear Solid game? I think he is far better at blending in than Snake could ever be. I suppose that's true. And it is ironic that all of the goons in that game were genetically enhanced. But given that they were also the product of a project to make super soldiers, they might have all of their names on record. It might be easier to see through that disguise than others. Still, there would be opportunities, certainly. Nobody's gonna bat an eye at seeing a guy in a full fucking parka walking around in Alaska. Get the balaclava like they had. I could see that working. Honestly, I could see disguises working a lot better than hiding in a box. And then adds at the timestamp. Now that's gross. Spying on people in the shower. Then again, this is a highly secretive organization, and they probably gather blackmail material any way they can. I wonder how many of these asshole security guards are disgraced police or military. That's a good question. And shout out to Derek Floyd, who says that dude who let you into the secret facility is so fired. Probably from a cannon. Shooting heavy suspended objects will typically make them fall to the ground. But I don't even have a silencer. I can't shoot cameras.
Welcome to Dubai, 47. Today is the inauguration of the scepter, and the ceremony is well underway. You will find Marcus Stuyvesant near the building's signature art installation. While a paranoid Carl Ingram has ensconced himself in his penthouse suite, security on highest alert. Mr. Gray is already in position and ready to assist.
Oh.
Good luck, 47.
On top of the world. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I'm standing on a fucking girder! Oh my god. I had to look down in order to see the clouds!
47. Come in. 47, do you copy?
I'm here.
Are you in position?
I'm heading towards the point of entry.
Good. Get back to me when you're there.
I guess I'll try going up. Oh man. I don't even have a fear of heights, really, but I'm just looking at this is giving me vertigo. I mean, I don't like heights, but it's not like I get paralyzed if there's like a fucking view, you know? Oh, no, it's not up. Okay, he didn't even hang off the edge. Jesus Christ. Let's just drop down, yeah. Okay. I'm moving. Tool chest? I can't open it. Let's not worry about that. Oh, it's the menu theme, just with different instruments.
Locked. 47, use your camera and scan the lock, will you? I think I can override the Windows controls from here.
No, it's right, you always have the camera. You don't have to select that. Ugh. Scanning. Aim left trigger the camera at the window lock to scan it. Oh. I really like that because that was a mirrored window, I could see that even though it goes to a first-person view, it actually changes the model so that 47 is holding his phone out in front of him.
I'm in position.
47, the inauguration is taking place close by. Once you've infiltrated it, get your bearings. I'm sure there must be floor plans somewhere.
Understood.
We need absolute focus on this one. If Ingram and Stuyvesant are alerted to our presence, we may lose them for good. We are so close, 47.
Don't worry. They're not going anywhere.
A coin! I made the right choice. I do note the problem that I'm wearing skydiving gear. This is the least subtle outfit I've been wearing all game. You didn't even take off the parachute. He just folded it back up, I guess. Or maybe he just still has the bag on his back. I was kind of hoping to find, like, fucking janitor overalls or something. I'm in the cloakroom, for God's sake. Maybe I missed something. I don't want to walk out there like this. Why am I moving so goddamn slowly in here? Well, I guess I will have to deal with that in the next episode of How to Hit a Man. And we just got started here, but, you know, setting up a new game, looking at new targets with who are particularly lore important. This is, you know, sizable, even if there was barely any planning to be done. Having said that, I'm BurningDogFace, and I will see you guys next time when we get out there into the Burj Al-Ghazali and go looking for this extremely fancy party we can crash while dressed like this. Oh boy. Till then, have yourselves a great day, Burning Dog fans. Later.